Welcome to the June, 18th,
Wow.
2018 meeting of the Delaware County Board of Commissioners. Would you please join me in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm Barb Lewis, Vice President, and with me is Jeff Benton, Commissioner Jeff Benton, our clerk Jennifer Walraven, and our administrator Mike Frommer. Let's begin.
Resolution number 18-694 in the matter of approving the electronic record of proceedings from regular meeting held June 14th, 2018.
So moved.
Second, discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 18-694. Mr. Merrill is absent today. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
We do not have any public comment or elected official comment, so that brings us to item number 4. Resolution number 18-695 in the matter of approving purchase orders and now certificates and payments of warrants in batch number CM APR 0615.
So moved.
Second, discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 18-695. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-696 in the matter of setting date and time for viewing and public hearing for consideration of the English 346 watershed drainage improvement petition filed by Christopher and Nikki Aker and others.
So moved.
Second, discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 18-696. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-697 in the matter of approving a joint application by the prosecuting attorney and the Delaware County Board of Commissioners to authorize the appointment of the Ohio Attorney General to advise, represent, collect, and/or prosecute on behalf of and/or defend the Delaware County Clerk of Courts in and as related to delinquent debt collection and any related matters that may arise.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Good morning. Natalie Fravel, Delaware County Clerk of Courts, and Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Christopher Betts. Mr. Betts has written a proposed application for us to appoint legal counsel for our office. We are in the process of forming an agreement with the Ohio Attorney General's office to help with collection of delinquent court costs, fees, fines, and restitution. The AG's office offers a debt collection service to political subdivisions, and we're going to take advantage of that. Many of the clerks around Ohio are doing this already. The clerk's office currently uses a private vendor for this. The private vendor is charging us 25% of what they collect, but the AG's office is willing to do it for 10%. So we're going to switch the contract over to them. So as you can see, it's cost saving, and Mr. Betts is, we're almost ready to go with this agreement. So
How long has the AG been doing this?
I don't know, a long time.
A while?
I don't know
Okay.
how long exactly, but a long time,
Okay.
yeah.
Do they have their own staff that collect it?
They do.
I know they have outside
They do, in
debt
fact,
collectors as well.
Yes.
Lisa Ionata is the section chief for the Attorney General's debt collection. She used to work here, yes.
Okay.
Oh, I see.
So she's the staff counsel for that, so we're looking forward to working with her. She's been wonderful to work with so far, so,
So the AG's office keeps 10%,
yes.
whatever collections,
Yes.
and versus the 25% that the private collection
Right.
firm you're using
Right.
today. Okay, well, it certainly economically helps us. What's been the history with our private collection and how effective they've been, and
I
we
think
use other multiple firms, or do we use just
Right.
one?
I think a lot of the accounts are just stale. You know, they've worked on them for so long, and the cost, of course, is what, jumped off the page at me. So I asked a lot of the clerks around Ohio who use this service already, and they say they're wonderful. So I called them, and they got a contract to me the next day. So, yeah.
What debts will you turn over? What are you collecting typically?
Well, all of our cases, domestic, civil, criminal, when court costs go delinquent, they don't pay their court costs, restitution, their fees. Our bookkeeper currently sends out a 30-day notice, a 60-day notice, and a 90-day notice. but if we don't have any response from those notices, we don't have in-house collectors to take care of that. So then we farm that out to a private, in the past, it's been a private company. We've always used a collection service that's down in the Lewis Center area.
Is it which courts do you collect for?
Just common, please.
Just common, please, not
Just for my
municipal?
office.
Not municipal?
Oh, no,
Okay.
no, just common, please.
Have you turned it over, does the AG do collections work for other offices as well?
Yeah, I talked to about 8 other clerks in Ohio that use it, and I think there's 20-some that use the AG's office for
I'm sorry, I
collections.
meant other offices in Delaware County, like the auditor or treasurer or sheriff or engineer who might have collection.
I don't know if they would have debt collection like we would. Maybe Mr. Betts could answer that. Sure.
Christopher Betts, Assistant Prosecuting Attorney with the Delaware County Prosecutor's Office. In response to your question, Mr. Benton, I'm not aware that the AG's office works with any other offices in the county. We work with the Treasurer's office obviously, in terms of foreclosures. But the AG's office, at this circumstance, I wanted to add something to what Clerk Frable said. The 10% that she's talking about is something that would be collected not out of our funds, but it would be something that would be coming from, that they would bill over and above the amount collected to the debtor to pay. But as it stands right now, the current contract with the outside vendor that we have at this point, that vendor has purely been collecting court costs up to this point. That's the way that the contract has been set up. So the other things, restitution fees, those sorts of things, were not included within that contract. This will be all inclusive of that. In addition, the current firm does not provide legal services. It's just purely a debt collection. The AG's office will provide some legal services, and that's why we're coming to you with the application.
So broader collection efforts and broader services.
Correct.
At a lower rate. So
Correct.
certainly makes sense. Well, yeah, it's an interesting question about what do we do for collections with the other offices? Again, the auditor, the foreclosure makes sense. We can get the property tax bills collected, but.
And I should add, certainly if somebody comes to us with something, we'll certainly work with them.
Yeah. It's a good service for the AG's office.
Have the percentage of collections varied much, say with the economy, you noticed? I guess
I've
the
been in
prior
office
clerk.
about a year and a half, but
Yeah,
no, it's mostly on domestic filings.
okay, I see. Okay, sure. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Vote.
Vote on motion 18-697. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye. Good work.
Thank you.
Resolution number 18-698, in the matter of approving a contract between the Union County Commissioners and the Delaware County Commissioners for prisoner housing.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. Leslie Armstrong with Delaware County Sheriff's Office and Chief Jeff Balzer. We bring to you a contract between Union County Board of County Commissioners and Delaware County. This is to alleviate overcrowding at the Union County Jail. They've asked us to provide some additional assistance in housing some of their prisoners if that situation would arise. I'm going to open it for questions and then probably resort to Chief to answer.
I know, I just wondered, I'm assuming that's going to cover the cost? The
Correct, it's,
65 per
yes.
day?
Hey, what's the history? Is this the first time we've done this with Union County?
For
Or?
Union County, that's correct, Commissioner. It's similar to the one we have with Licking County, although the goals are a little bit different. The documents are almost identical. Licking County was overcrowded. Their jail, they were looking for some relief for some low-level misdemeanors. We've done that a few times for them. Union County, this is kind of a just-in-case agreement. They house their inmates at the Tri-County Correctional Facility in Mechanicsburg. Recently, actually about a month ago, they contacted us because they were at capacity in Mechanicsburg, looking to house just anyone they might arrest over the weekend. So that's what this agreement's about. We also, just to give you a heads up, we're working on a few, with Assistant Prosecutor King, we're working on a few agreements ourselves, so that way we have a backup if we need to. Not necessarily for overcrowding. Right now, we're pretty good on numbers, but just in case we need to keep an inmate separate. If there's witnesses, different things like this, we want to hold some in a different place. So we've contacted Knox County, again, Licking County, Morrow County, Franklin, just so we have those agreements in place. So those may be coming in the future to you.
One of the concerns I had was liability. You know, obviously, you never know. You can get sued for anything anymore. But as I was reading through it, it looks like we're pretty well protected. We're indemnified, and then also medical costs and those
Right.
extra costs that aren't included in the $65. It looks like we're covered there as well. So.
Correct. It's, like I said, it's very similar. It's almost identical to Licking County, that if we accept an inmate, we don't have to, but if we accept an inmate on behalf of Union County, if something came up where there's, the person had to go to the hospital or something like that, then Union County is responsible for all those expenses.
Thank you very much. Vote?
Vote on motion 18-698. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Thank you.
Resolution number 18-699, in the matter of authorizing the use of a procurement card for the Job and Family Services Department.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. Steven Sikora with Job and Family Services. I'm here to present to you the authorization for the use of the procurement card. We had Madison May left the organization, so we have filled with Nicholas Dean, who would be the card holder, is here today. I know, Mrs. Lewis, you met him earlier last week, and I don't know if Mr. Benton, if you got the chance to meet him, but Nick would be taking her place and would be able to use that credit card if it were approved. So. And these are for purchases that we may need throughout the agency that we don't have like a vendor set up already, so.
Thanks. We're glad to have Nick.
Yeah.
Nick, would you like to
Welcome
say
aboard.
anything? He just,
Yeah. Speech.
speech, yeah, yeah, no, thank you. I think you're going to do a great job. I did meet Nick at Family and Children First, and I mentioned it.
Yeah.
Certainly, we're excited to have Nick,
Session.
yes.
Yeah, so we're very fortunate to have him there. Any other questions? Vote?
Vote on motion 18-699. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Resolution number 18-700, in the matter of approving sanitary sewer subdividers agreement for Nelson Farm, Section 2, Phase C, Part 2.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Morning, Commissioners. Tiffany Mag with the Regional Sewer District. This is our standard subdividers agreement for a subdivision that's located on 315, just south of Hyatt's Road. There's 11 homes in this phase, and we recommend your approval.
Vote on motion 18-700. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Thanks.
Thank you,
Res-
Tiffany.
Resolution number 18-701, in the matter of approving a transfer of appropriation for administrative services.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Good morning, Dawn Houston, Deputy Administrator. I'm recommending your approval of this transfer from our wellness program org key to from the supplies to services. And this basically is to bring about a company called Excelwell from Worthington to assist with our wellness program. So if you have any other questions, I would be happy to answer them for you.
Vote on motion 18-701. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-702, in the matter of amending resolution number 18-83 for the purchase of trucks and equipment for the county engineer's office.
So moved.
Second, discussion. It wouldn't be a meeting without Rob coming in.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. Rob Riley, Chief Deputy Engineer. Earlier this year, you passed a resolution for the purchase of 4 pickup trucks for our office. We were informed that the dealer has gone out of business, so fortunately, we were able to find the identical trucks at the new state vendor, and have apparently the price is about $1,000 less total for the 4 vehicles, so asking for your approval of this.
Okay. Vote?
Vote on motion 18-702. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
us to administrator reports.
Commissioners, I have nothing to report this morning.
Commissioner Benton?
Nothing on the US Open there, Mike?
No,
Tiffany, you want to speak about the US Open? You didn't watch any of it?
Oh.
You didn't see Mickelson's
Sigh.
10? Yeah, okay.
Sigh looks somewhat interested.
Yeah,
though.
Cy, I'm sure, saw the 10 on number 13 for Mickelson. Yeah, that was memorable. Few things, actually, quite a few things going on this week. Well, first of all, Commissioner Lewis and I both went to the Data Bus Strategic Planning session last Thursday evening, and that was interesting. They're doing good stuff there to figure out where they want to take that organization in the future, because there's significant challenge there, no doubt about it. SourcePoint has their Polaris office opening tomorrow at 3:30. Data Bus has an open house and ribbon cutting. I think it's Wednesday, if I recall, or maybe it's Thursday. But anyway, it's coming up this week. They've remodeled their facilities, and they're having an open house for that. Farm Bureau has a breakfast Thursday morning. I'll be attending. Then the third Thursday luncheon is Thursday as well for there's several townships and Powell are presenting an update at the Chamber, Delaware Chamber. So that's always interesting to hear about that. There's a Tanger Outlet Mall after hours on Thursday evening, and then we've got the legislative update on Friday. So there's a lot going on with all sorts of different organizations and everything.
Taste of Delaware was last Wednesday night, and very successful.
Well
many-
attended? Yeah, I wasn't able to make
yes,
it.
Very well attended, and even more places participating, more businesses.
Good.
So it was crowded, but it surely does give you a chance to see some of the new shops, because there are some, and boy, the city's doing very well business-wise, so that was exciting. And just wanted to remind everyone with the Delaware Mission Court Mentor Program that they could use some veteran mentors. And there's a contact, Tamar Fowler, and she is the Mission Court Coordinator, and her number is 740-203-1525. That's 740-203-1525. This is under Judge Marianne Hammeder. She's doing a great job with it, but they could use some more help. So, and we have need for executive session.
We do. Resolution number 18-703, in the matter of adjourning into executive session for consideration of employment, compensation of a public employer, a public official, and for pending or imminent litigation.
So moved.
Second discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 18-703. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye. We are now recessed into executive session. Gary for a day.
Carry per day, king per day.
Yeah.
Resolution number 18-704, in the matter of adjourning out of executive session.
So moved.
Second discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 18-704. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye. And we have no more business to come before us, I don't believe, so we are adjourned.